Okay, we're going to go back and look at something, how to create a gradient. So one, I showed you how to create a two-step gradient earlier in the course. Let's click on the gradient tool, which is underneath the fill bucket. And to create a two-step gradient, I just load a color into the foreground color swatch, another color into the background color swatch. Oops. Another color into the background color swatch. And there's my gradient. Let's make a new layer. And I'm going to fill that layer with a gradient. So I can just click and drag and apply my gradient over my image. And I can apply it linear, radial, the little cone, double-ended, diamond. Then I could use blending modes to blend those two together if I wanted to, right? I can step through those blending modes with the up and down arrow keys, and then take that blending mode and lower its opacity, make some interesting effects. Okay, so that's how you create a two-step gradient. Let's go up, and when I click here, you'll see I have all of these gradients that are available to me. But what I want to do is create my own gradient. And while I'm doing that, what I want to do is I want to use it by going to Image Adjustments, and I want to go down and apply it as a gradient map. So a gradient map allows me to map two colors into the grayscale or more. And so what it's doing is it's taking where the blacks and the whites in the picture would be and replacing them with gray, with the, where the grayscale would be, and replace with color. So I click right here to bring up the gradient editor, and then I can mix my colors. So you'll see that there are these little boxes here. These boxes are called stops. When I click on a stop, I can choose a color. What tends to work best is to choose a lighter color, a darker color for the on the left, and a lighter color on the right. And whatever color you're using on that darker end will, whatever color you're using, you want it to be darker because that's the darker end of the spectrum. Then I can add in as many colors as I like, and many different colors as I like in here, and create a gradient map. Right now, where these little diamonds are, that's the transition point from one color to the next. I can click and I can add in as many colors as I like. If I decide I don't like a color, I can click and just drag it out. And that's the stops on the bottom. That's the stops on the bottom, okay? The stops on the top are transparency. So I click up here and I adjust its opacity. You see I'm adjusting the opacity of that stop, okay? Now, after I'm gonna trash down. After I create a gradient, I can save it by clicking New and then giving it a name. And one of the cool things about Photoshop is that you can custom create all these elements and then reuse them. Click OK. And now I can go back up and I can find that gradient that I created and apply it to other images. Okay. So that's how you use the gradient map, and that's how you create a custom gradient.